Welcome to the presentation. It is Friday, and boy, I'm excited about it. It's been one of those. If you've had one of those weeks where you're like, just as the old commercial Calgon, take me away. Well, yours truly has had one of those weeks. So yes, unfortunately, my microphone is still acting goofball. I don't know. I've tried to figure it out. I don't care. Anyway, so it's like, well, whatever. As long as you guys can hear me. You guys on TikTok will hear me just fine. It doesn't affect you at all. What's going on? It's I'm using StreamYard to air on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And that's the issue. I don't know. But anyway, it's okay. As long as they can hear and you can hear and I can hear, we're good. So we're all hearing. Well, oh, wow. Yeah. So we're talking about, by the way, we are talking weird. Absolutely, Joe. Yeah. Looking forward to it as well. Yeah. I love, I do enjoy having conversations with friends and talking to folks who interview me because it's always fun to meet people. That's always fun. I've always enjoyed that. And so, but we're looking forward to that. I don't have, my calendar is acting wacky. Joe, can you post that information, the date and the time and all that stuff, Joe Fox? And that way I can let people know. For some reason, my phone is acting a little wonky. And it does it. It does it. Honestly, it's user error. So my buddy Wilma is probably saying, oh, it's user error. It's user error. I'm telling you. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. For some reason, I just thought I'm naturally blonde in some areas of life. Truly am. But that's okay. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And then if you post that, I will let everybody know. Now, people have been asking, Bishop Long, are you going to be at a paranormal conference this year? Oddly enough, I've only been asked to appear in one conference. I say oddly because I love doing paranormal conferences, and I don't know if people just don't know how to contact me. It is difficult to contact. I'll admit that. But I do have a phone number on the website. So if people who are, if you have a paranormal conference and you want me to appear and do a presentation on demonology and possession, I'll be happy to do that. I love doing it, love teaching anytime I can. So I'm going to give you an update. I will be at this conversation. Let me see here. It's called Upstate Spirit Conference. Upstate Spirit Conference. It's at the Belmont Inn. It's in Abbeville, South Carolina. And that's where I'll be going. And unfortunately, I can't... Joe, for some reason, I can post it, but it's a bunch of numbers. I can't click on it to let everybody know because all I can do is that, but I can't actually click on the link. I'm sorry about that, Joe. But if there's a way that you can, I'm going to be giving an interview, and I want to post and let people know about it. Doggone. Hey, Joe, do me a favor. I tell you what, do me this favor. Send me this in Messenger, and then I can pull it up, and then I can let everybody know. That would be great. If you could do that for me, that would be terrific. Just send it to me in Messenger. I always like to advertise and let people know where I'll be going, interviews I'll be doing. So anyway, if you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate that. And then also post it on my Facebook page. Thank you, Joe. Okay, so let me give you a heads up on when the event's going to be. October 7th through the 9th. October 7th through the 9th. This year, I will be at the Upstate Spirit Conference. There's going to be a terrific folks who will be going there. I know most of these people who are there, and it's phenomenal talent. Truly is phenomenal talent. And people who've been in the paranormal community for a long, long time. And I'm really excited about it. So it's the Belmont Inn in Abbeville, South Carolina. And it's called the Upstate Spirit Conference, October 7th through the 9th. I can't talk about the filming that I did right now yet. But this is the only thing that I'm going to say. You're gonna want to go there. I wish I could tell you more. It's a teaser. I know. I'm sorry, but I'm not allowed to tell you why. But you're gonna want to be there. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting show. So, October 7th through the 9th, Upstate Spirit Conference in Abbeville, South Carolina. All you got to do is Google Upstate Spirit Conference, October 7th through the 9th, and make sure you get your tickets because I do believe this is going to sell out, especially when I'm allowed to legally begin to talk about the filming that I did in Los Angeles. But that's all I can say. That's all I'm allowed to say. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I can't wait to tell you guys about this. Oh, I am chomping at the bits, man. It is going to be phenomenal. So that's where I'll be. And right now, that's the only conference that I'm scheduled to appear in. So if you have a conference or you know of a friend, they're doing a conference, go to my website, bishopjameslong.com, bishopjameslong.com, and you can call that number that's listed there. Now, keep in mind, I don't answer that number, so it's very rare that I have the phone with me, but sometimes I do. Just leave a message, and if you have a paranormal conference and you would like for me to appear and do a presentation, I'd be happy to do it. Okay? So there we go. And again, that's Bishop James Long, LONG.com. I'm also going to put a page on events. You know, someone asked me, do I have like a calendar of events? I don't, but I need to do that. I need to get on top of that because I'm kind of slacking, folks. All right. So let me just see if my buddy Joe Fox sent that on my messenger so I can tell you when I'll be going. I apologize for, again, it's been very, very crazy. Very crazy. Joe, I don't see it yet, my brother, unless you send it to the other one. I don't know which. I have several Facebook. And then we're going to get into our topic tonight, haunted objects. So that's going to be the conversation that we're going to have, and it's going to. I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys about it because haunted objects, folks. I'm telling you, whether you believe it or not, it does exist. This stuff is real, and the fear that I have is so many people are buying these things, and they're buying these things online. That is. I don't know if that's a good idea. I really don't think that's a good idea because people can really get yourself in trouble. So, Joe. Hello, Joe. If you can send that on Messenger, send it to the one that in my clerics, that I'm my clergy, so then I can kind of let everybody know about it, please. And I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Willie Gibson. By the way, Willie is in the chat room. Willie Gibson. He was our guest last week, and Willie, I think I would like to talk to you about perhaps doing it more often. You know, maybe once a month we can get together. I would love that. So if you're down with that, Willie Gibson, he's a shaman. And he's just a spiritualist. He's a phenomenal human being. Love him to death. Just, you know those people that are just really rare, those genuine good people. Willie's one of them. And he did some readings last week. And they were, a lot of people were affirming, yep, you're right on the target. What you said is true. And it was pretty amazing. So there we go. I will certainly keep you in your sleep. You're sleeping. Okay, I certainly will. I'll keep those in my prayers. Okay. All right. So Joe Fox. I shared it on Messenger to 2 of your pages. No, not my pages. No. Please, not my pages because I don't know where they are. Send it to Messenger. To my Messenger, not my pages because I have no idea where they are. So if you could just send it to Messenger. That way I can let everybody know. So just send a direct message to the one in my clergy, so I can, because I got to move on. But if you can, I would appreciate that. That way I can let everybody know. Okay. So send it to Messenger. All right. Okay. So we're going to get into some questions. Why has the church been so quiet on things such as possession? Well, Brian, that's a good question. Possession is not something that should be sensationalized. Possession is not entertainment. And what bothers me so much is that people have taken a very sacred right. This is a sacred right. And we have sensationalized it as a society to the point where it's entertainment hour. And I find that very troubling. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I find it appalling. This is a very sacred, ancient ritual. And to make it a big entertainment hour, I don't like that. So it should be sacred. It should be respected. It should be revered. And we've gotten to a point, I think, where just anything and everything, we just kind of cross those ethical boundaries where everything is entertainment. What's next? Are we going to have now confession hour? Are we going to put a camera in the confessional so that everyone can hear a person's juicy sins told to the priest? I mean, see, some people would love that. And think about that. Some people would actually I'd watch it. Why? That's something very personal and private and sacred. And I think there is just some things we just cannot sensationalize and should not sensationalize. And sacred rituals that is between the individual and God, to sensationalize that for entertainment hour, no. I'm very, very offended, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Joel, I'm going to have to move on, buddy. So I need you to say, if you would, please send it to Messenger. But I'm kind of prolonging before we get into the show, but I can't. So if you can send it to Messenger as fast as you can, because I would really appreciate that. But we're kind of we're running out of time. So just send it to Facebook Messenger. I'll give it a few more minutes, but then I got to move on. I appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to get into gun violence and make this a political issue. I just, folks, I'm just not going. This is the paranormal show. This is Paranormal Fridays. I don't think we should make any tragedy. Let's not make this political hour. I mean, there are people who lost their lives. There are families, there are parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters. They are now grieving right now. And I don't think this is the time to make political points and arguments. And, we can do that. We can do that down the road. But let's not, for the goodness gracious, let's allow people to grieve for their loved ones. And I don't like that. I don't like it. So I'm not big into that. I have my political opinions. But one thing that you'll note about me is I won't share it with you. Some people think that I'm ultra conservative. Some people think that I'm ultra liberal. Some people think that I'm moderate. Either way, I can tell you that I do have my political opinions, but I keep them to myself. And the reason being is because if you are conservative and I'm screaming ultra liberal ideas, then you will not feel comfortable coming to me talking about theological issues that you're having or spiritual issues that you're having, or vice versa. If you're liberal and you think that I'm ultra conservative and I'm spouting off ultra conservative ideas, then you probably wouldn't feel comfortable talking to me about it. So I want people to be able to feel comfortable to speak to me about issues that they're dealing with without worrying about me judging or using it for a political platform. It's just not. I'm here for conservatives. I'm here for liberals. I'm here for moderates. I'm here for and people who are just neither. I'm here for everyone, regardless of your age, race, sexual orientation, your gender, your nationality, your religion. I'm here for everybody. And that just, when people think of Bishop Long, I want them to have an image of a clergy member who has his arms open, ready to embrace anyone who comes to him in need. And that's the image that I want people to have of me. Okay. All right. I certainly will pray for you. Yep. I have studied the origins of Christianity, obviously. But there's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of purposeful misinformation. Maybe one day we'll talk about that on a Wednesday. Or Sunday. But there is purposeful misinformation about religion because they're selling you a product. They want you to click on these clickbaits just so they can obviously get seen and then make money off of it. So there's a lot of things that people are saying that are just absolutely just complete total trash. I'm just 100% trash. And so but maybe we'll probably discuss that on Sunday. Okay, let me just say this, and then we're going to get into the show. Russ, who is? Russ Hitchin? What do you mean, Russ? Russ Hitchin. If you could explain that, I'd appreciate that. Well, congratulations, Vicky. That's wonderful. 8 pounds. Wow, that is really fantastic. Vicky's grandson was born today at healthy 8 pounds. Well, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Congratulations to you, Vicky. And I want to remind all of you guys, sure. Ross, you should come to Paracon in Connecticut. Well, Ross, if you know the people who are running it, have them send me a message on Facebook Messenger. Okay? I would appreciate that very much. So if you know somebody who's running it, say, hey, contact Bishop Long. That'd be great. I would appreciate that. Okay. Okay. It's not letting you do it. Well, that's okay. Well, just put the date. Hey, Ross, can you put the date and the time? Just put the date and the time and the name of the show. There, we'll just do it that way. Joe, I'm sorry, I said Ross. Joe, if you could just put the date and the time and the name of the show, and that way I'll let everybody know. How's that? Okay. My 2 years old has been experiencing fear and a monster, and now it's more noticeable. I got to tell you something. When it comes to children and animals, I pay very close attention to what they are experiencing and seeing, because children do not have, they don't have that filter. And when a child experiences or says that they're experiencing something, I pay very close attention to this, because many of us, we have filters, but we're told, oh, the ghosts don't exist. There's no such thing as that above. And so that filter is placed upon us, and then we immediately just kind of discard it. But when children are involved, and especially animals, that is something that I think we cannot discard. Now, I will say this. If your child is experiencing something in home, please do not investigate your own home yourself. Do not do that. Stay away from investigating your own home. And that the reason is because there's emotion. You have an emotional involvement, obviously, with this. And if it is demonic, which I'm not saying it is, but if it is demonic, then the demonic will prey on that. And so stay away. Have people come in who know what they're doing, who don't charge, and go from there. Okay, that's the best route. But please do not investigate your own home. Okay, that's a big no-no. Yeah. So Joe Fox is saying Sunday at 12 a.m. And that's Talking Weird. Yeah, I don't know why. You know what? I don't know why in the world it's not pulling up on my phone. That's just the craziest thing, because I know I have it. Oh, yeah, the Jen Dorell. Yeah, let everybody. It's going to be late. It's going to be a late show, and so if you're going to be up this weekend around 12 a.m. so Saturday technically, but Sunday morning, Saturday going into Sunday, that's where well, thank you very much. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. Thank you very much. That's very nice. Sorry, someone was offering a gift to the ministry, and so there we go. Okay. Yep. So it's live this Saturday. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up here, and I will share it on my Facebook page, by the way. So it's live this Saturday night at 12 a.m. It's 11 p.m. Central. says here, we welcome Bishop James Long of the United States Old Catholic Church to chat about his studies and demonology experiences as an exorcist in the paranormal. Bishop James Long has written a book, Through the Eyes of an Exorcist, which, by the way, I am now working on another book with my good buddy, Frank Newberry. And currently hosts his own podcast, The Sacred Division. He has appeared on many television shows such as Ghost Adventures, America's Most Haunted, Exorcism Live, The Exorcist House, many more from travel, history, sci-fi, National Geographic, A&E channels. It says you definitely do not want to miss this one. Set a reminder so that you don't miss out. And please log into StreamYard so we can see your comments and questions. So there we go. I'm going to share this with my... I'll do it this way. There. And then I will go into my other Facebook page. I have a couple of them. Originally, I was going to use this one just for family and friends, but people kept saying, Bishop Long, you're not responding to my friend request. I'm like, well, I have 5,000 friends. I can't add anymore. So hang tight, everybody. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to add this so that you can see it. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you letting me know. And let me share this on my page. Okay, so if you go to facebook.com/Bishop James Long, Bishop James Long, all one word, you will see it's the one with clerics, with me and clerics, not the fan page. I hate that, a fan page. I have friends, not fans. But if you go to facebook.com/Bishop James Long, okay, that is where you need to go to, and you can go to the link where you can listen to the show tomorrow night. Well, Mr. Producer is not here right now, so I'm actually producing the show, and so there we go, Joe. And so there we are. So again, facebook.com/Bishop James Long. All right, and there is that's where you need to go, and you can check out the show that I'll be doing. It being interviewed on Saturday night. Also, tomorrow I have a pretty violent case. So I don't know if I'm going to be at a hotel tomorrow night. I just simply don't know. It's a young couple in their late 20s. They have two small kids, a little boy and a little girl. The family is they are not staying in their home because the kids are being violently attacked. It is very aggressive. It is a very violent case. So the family won't even go back to their home. So I'll be heading out there tomorrow. It's not too bad. It's only about 3 hours or so to get there and 3 hours back home. So I just don't know if, depending on how long it takes, depending on how violent it is, will depend on whether or not I'll be doing the show at a hotel, or whether I'll be doing a show here. I don't know. So yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Oh yeah. Mr. Producer is having a party. Yeah, he's having a party. That's right. And so there we go. Jennifer, dear Bishop, thank you for your guidance and friendship all these years. So glad to see you sharing that love in a broader setting. Well, thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate that. I love teaching. And there we go. Yeah, it does attack children. Now, when you're talking, there's no question it's demonic in nature. And I say this because we have evidence to prove that there is very violent activity occurring. The children are being tormented. I'm not going to go into detail because the family asked me not to talk about all the details, but I can tell you that they have said there's been scratches and bite marks, hair pulling. The parents did say I can talk about in general. I can't get specific. The little boy was pushed down the stairs and did some damage to obviously his ankle. So the family is experiencing the smell of sulfur. Religious objects are being desecrated. Their animal, they had a little dog, and the dog was actually was going down the stairs, and the family actually looked like someone like purposely tripped the dog, and the dog fell down the stairs. Thankfully, there was no damage as far as broken bones to the dog, but it's violent. It's a very, very violent case. So there we are. Okay. The parents have been injured. There is an element of incubus with this as well. So an incubus is a demonic entity that attacks people in a sexual nature. A supernova. I did a show not too long ago about UFOs, but I will do another one because I think I love UFOs. I love anything paranormal, but keep in mind, demonology is not paranormal. Okay, so I have to say that the demonology has nothing to do with the paranormal. Demonology is theological. I've been saying this for years and years and years. Now, when I say paranormal, it's the unexplained. It's werewolves and vampires and ghosts and goblins and things of this nature, which is fine. The Loch Ness monster, the Bigfoot, and I love the paranormal. I absolutely love it. But when you're talking demonology, you're talking theological, and so I like to teach people the difference because there is a difference between the two. Okay. No, I obviously on this family, I will not be going to, obviously will not be airing. No, I'm not going to be airing the investigation and the minor right. Well, thank you very much, Matt. I have been injured before when I did Ghost Adventures at Bobby Mackey's. I was in the room. And this was the second episode. And I was doing EVP work, which stands for electronic voice phenomenon. And I was asking the questions, doing that. And then it felt like a flame torch that was right on my hand. As a matter of fact, there were, I think there was some type of newspaper there. I'm not for sure. But it burnt so bad that I dropped my digital recorder. I was so mad because I love this digital recorder. It was the best in the world. And it shattered. And so they took a picture of it, and you can clearly see, I mean, the three marks that were there. It was very violent. I've been punched. I've been scratched. And so, but these are things that I don't allow the demonic to try to get into or to intimidate me. And so, because these are parlor tricks, and the demonic tries to intimidate you to make the right stop. And that's something that I won't do. Oh, sure. The demonic know who you are when you first interact with them. Absolutely. They know that you are before you even enter. And so, as a matter of fact, I don't even like telling people what time I'll be arriving. I really prefer not to even tell people when I'll be arriving, because it seems like every time I do that, the activity becomes even more violent on true demonic cases. And the family is already going through enough. With this case, it's okay that they know because the family's not in this home. And then they will not go. They will not go back until. So, when you talk about babies, babies cannot be possessed. In 2,000 years of church history, there has never been not one, where a baby was possessed. In 2,000 years. Not one case. So I think you don't have to worry about that. Belgium. Well, hello, Belgium. I appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you so much. Okay. Yep. At Bishop James. And I want to say also one more thing, very quick, to you guys on TikTok. I've said this a million times. Apparently, there are people who have bad intentions, and they have created accounts using my name and using my image. It might be like Bishop James Long or Bishop _ James Long or something like that. I have already made several videos on TikTok. I've even pinned them to my profile on TikTok. Folks, please understand, this is my only account. I have no other account on TikTok. None. This is it. And the reason is this really frustrates me because what these scammers are doing, they really are, they should be arrested. Is they're contacting people and people are following them, and these scammers are contacting them saying, hey, look, I have an emergency situation. Can you please send $2,000 or something like that? A lot of, and people are like, well, I can't spend $2,000, but I can send 300 or 400. And these scammers, oh yeah, absolutely. I have reported them. I report them every single day on TikTok. Every single day I report these accounts. And for some reason, they haven't been deleted. And I don't know why. It's very frustrating. And I keep reporting. They're pretending to be me. And I keep telling them all the time. But for some reason, they're just, I don't get it. Delete the accounts. How hard is it? I report it every single day. And I don't know. I'm very, very frustrated. So again, please understand. I'll say it a million times. This is my only account on TikTok. Bishop James Long. It has over, I think, 630,000 followers. I don't know. Any other account that doesn't have 630,000 followers is fraud. So you should know just by the followers that it's a fraud count. So I've made 2 or 3 videos. I penned them on TikTok. They're the very first videos you see on my. So please, I did. I've asked. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll definitely do that again, Jan. Please report them. If you're on TikTok, please report them. Because I don't know. Again, I don't know why. No, I can't get it verified. I did have a car accident, and so the car was quite expensive to repair. I have it's a 2011 car, so I had liability, and so it's going to be expensive. But we'll see. We'll see how things go with that. So please report them. Okay. They're fraud. They should be ashamed of themselves. And it infuriates me that they're taking advantage of people and telling me, oh, I'm Bishop Long and send $200 or $300. And then people are doing it. That makes me so mad. So it's frustrating. So again, Bishop James Long. Okay. No, Handsome 3210. No, I disagree with that. Okay. Well, I guess I could go to the police, but I mean, the police really, I don't think are going to do anything. But anyway, that's a problem. It is a problem. And I've begged and begged and begged. So, all right, we're going to talk about a topic that is probably one of the most popular things to talk about in the paranormal. And that is called haunted items or haunted objects. Some people call them cursed objects. Yep, you can go to Bishop James Long. I am fine, thank you. Bishop James Long, LONG.com. BishopJamesLong.com. If you want to help with the ministry, just scroll down to the bottom where it says ministry expenses, and you can donate, and that would be great. I do have an online store. I do have the Benedictine bracelets. Saint Benedict is the patron saint for exorcists. So if you would like to purchase one, please feel free to do so. And also, I do have the Benedictine necklace, which are beautiful. It's on the front and the back. And so you can get yours if you would like. And just again, Bishop James Long, LONG.com, and click on the store link. But if you'd like to make a direct donation to the ministry, you can certainly do that as well. And that is Bishop James Long, LONG.com. Scroll down to the bottom where it says ministry expenses. And there we go. Yeah, someone got to scam on a job. Wow, 2 weeks ago. That's terrible. Okay, do you ship to Canada? I do, but you just have to let me know where you are, because then I have to see how much it costs for shipping. All right, haunted items. Let me share with this, because I really think you need to take a look at this, everybody. Let me pull this up here so that you guys can see it. I went online just to check for some haunted items. I do have some haunted items, and I will be sharing that with you today. And well, come on. Update just now. It said, well, update it then. I'm trying to find it so I can send them to you. Okay. That way you can see the pictures. Import all new. Yep. There we go. I forgot to import it. I'm telling you. I've got to have an award for Naturally Blonde. I forgot to import them. But anyway, I'll while it's doing that, we'll talk about what they are. The first one is called The Anguished Man. That's the name of it. I do baptize adults. The Anguished Man. So it says here, the second you look into the, and this is, by the way, for those of you who want to know, this is from Ad Lister, and a very cool site. It says The Anguished Man. The second you look into this portrait's ghastly face, it's not surprising. People think it's haunted. A demonic view with his eyes inky black and its mouth unnaturally wide open. It looks as if it's about to take in the soul of any unfortunate person who spends too long looking directly into its gaping maw. And described as a horrific paranormal portrait by the original owner. They claim to have experienced supernatural events while having it in their house, including footsteps and bird songs coming out of nowhere, and even doors opening and closing by themselves. Well, here's the thing is this, you can buy these things even online, which is very, very dangerous. I don't know why people do that. Please don't. Because if you do, then you're going to find yourself in some serious, serious trouble. It really is not a good idea to play around with these things. Well, so the question is, what's the rub with buying haunted objects on eBay? Well, there's no way to know. The auction site allows for anything to be sold that doesn't violate the rules. And you have to go on the owner's promises or warnings. And for the reason who eventually bought this terrifying portrait, they may have found out the hard way, or they may have had an awkward conversation piece and nothing more. Or maybe they thought it was the perfect revenge for that aunt who got them socks every birthday when they were a kid. But here's another item that's very interesting. And folks, some of these things you just can't make up. And I don't really... Okay. So fair enough. There is someone was selling this on eBay, and it's a haunted brazier. It really is. It's a haunted brazier. Elaine, I don't think it does. I don't think it. But if you want to send like a check, if you want to make a donation to the ministry, you can always just make a check out, and that'd be fine. Okay, but this is a haunted brazier. It's one of the least frightening, but maybe one of the least sanitary items posted on eBay. Folks, it was on eBay. Now, why on earth would anybody want to buy a brazier? I mean, especially if it's haunted. I'm not quite understanding why would you do that, but people do. They do. Again, people do some of the strangest things. And by the way, I think it's finally come through here. Yep, it's uploaded. So this is the picture of the first guy that I talked about, the Anguished Man. Here's this. Let me show you. That is the picture of the Anguished Man. That does kind of look creepy, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know why someone would want to buy that. Now here is, and folks, it really is on eBay. Here is the haunted brazier. I mean, obviously, it doesn't look like it's been well cared for, but okay, whatever. The haunted brawl. So here it is. It's one of the least frightening, but maybe one of the least sanitary. A single-used brawl, white and kind of ratty, and designed for a woman with a 32A bust. But it's also packing some major spirit power, according to this post. So claims Tanya Rose. She's the woman who is selling it. But this isn't a second-hand brawl. No. It's a third-hand brawl because the listing claims it belonged to a deceased woman. one who lived a life with a lot of amorous adventures and parting before she met an untimely end. I'm trying to keep from bursting out laughing. Are bras that expensive? Obviously, I don't know. But yes, folks, it was on eBay. So why would anyone want her used undergarments? Well, because according to the seller, she never quite left the brassiere. Her spirit is still hanging around in her bra, and anyone who wears it will inherit her success in the romantic world. Get ready for a big increase in the number of admirers and gifts, the seller says. But it may not have wound up with a woman because it supposedly has another ability. Yeah, you heard me right. It has another ability, folks. If someone places it by a lit white candle, well, the spirit of the woman will appear. And when placed by a red candle, she'll grant the owner a very adult encounter with the spirit world. That is stupid. But let me just make this very clear. Okay. You know, we can ha ha ho ho he he and that kind of thing about this, but I'm going to tell you this. The fact that someone would buy this with hopes of having an adult encounter with the spirit world is unbelievably stupid and terrifying at the same time, because it's about the intent. Now, ultimately, when I'm talking about the spirit world is the incubus and succubus. And an incubus and succubus is nothing funny. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing funny about an incubus and succubus. They will attack you on a sexual nature. It's very violent. Very, very violent. As a matter of fact, I interviewed, if you remember, the daughter of a 68-year-old woman who suffered from an incubus. And it was, what she endured was pure hell. Pure hell. And for anybody wanting to hopefully have an encounter, an adult encounter with the spirit world, why would you want that type of invitation? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you invite an incubus and succubus into your life? Why? Yeah, Eric says, I remember that footage. Yeah, at one time I actually showed the a video at a paranormal conference where this 68-year-old woman, she's lying in the bed, and you actually see the bed sheets rise and fall and rise and fall, and you actually see this. Folks, this is not a joke. And for anybody who makes it a joke, I promise, I give you my word, your life will radically change for the worse if you decide to try to conjure up an incubus and succubus because you think that you might have a fun little rendezvous on a Friday night. It is violent. I'll just simply say this because I have no idea if kids are watching, but I will just say that it was so violent that she had to stop driving because she was being assaulted. And she described it as a plunger being used. It was unbelievable violent. So this is not something that's not an imagination. It's not something medieval fiction. Folks, I have had incubus succubus attacks. I've seen them. I have worked these cases. And even though we joke about the brassiere, aha, bro, ha, but the point is that's a portal. If you use even this bra, if you're using the bra to make contact with the demonic realm, then you are opening up a portal. And the intent is there. The intent with, I don't care what color candle you have, The fact is you are using this object to communicate with the spirit world. And not only that, but this eBayer is saying, "Oh yeah, you can do it and have a great time." Well, no, you can't. This is violent. It is terrible. It is terrible. Okay, the number 8. It says tapping from beyond. So tapping from beyond. You wouldn't think that these would be any big deal. Look at that. It's a pair of just little black, looks like shoes here. Okay, so just a simple little black pair of shoes. Well, you think it's a simple pair of tap shoes made from black leather, one adorned by a fancy red bow. Well, they look just as if they could be slipped on for a tap recital, but they were last used a very long time ago. You see, a little girl named Lisa, who loved to dance, put them on one last time, and at some point met an untimely end. And there they sat in an old nursery closet until they were dug up during an estate sale alongside a collection of old clothing and toys. Perhaps they could be put to use again all this time later. But Lisa's spirit may have had other ideas. You see, the seller posted that they have had experienced the disturbing things while cleaning out their late aunt's house. There were mysterious knocking sounds coming from inside the closet, almost as if the shoes were tapping by themselves. Not only that, but the house they were found in had a disturbing history of murder and rumor of ghosts, including that of a 9-year-old girl who died of an illness. Was that the unfortunate Lisa? And if so, would she finally be put to rest or follow her shoes to the new home? Someone found out. It wasn't the only household object that seemed to function on its own. You know, people ask me a lot about, well, why do these haunted items, haunted objects have an attachment? You know, there's a lot of people, especially in our lives, we are attached to objects, we're places, and many people, the theory is that these spirits attach themselves to the object. They don't want to let it go. And many times when you bring a haunted item into your home, paranormal activity can occur. Not all the time, but certainly it has happened. I can tell you from personal experience, and I'll be sharing a couple items that I've talked about before, but I'll be sharing a couple items with you and telling you the story behind them. And one of them is an authentic John Wayne Gacy painting. So I'll show that later on tonight. But some of these items are quite violent and they have an attachment to them. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not violent at all. You might take home a doll or something of this nature, and then you might have knocking, or you might have, like, you can hear footsteps, someone walking, or temperature changes in your room. That actually happens more often than you think. But that doesn't lead us to believe that necessarily is demonic. Could it be? Certainly. The problem is when you begin to have these items and you try to communicate with the spirit world, that is where the danger come in. Because then you don't know who you're speaking with. You don't know who you're speaking to. And by opening that portal with communication, you could be opening yourself up to receiving information that you don't want to know. And that could be, in fact, demonic in nature. Eric says, from experiences in the field, yes, there's a risk with that. And I wouldn't advise it. And it's true. It really is. People who actually who've been with the cases and studied the cases, they know. A lot of people will give their opinion on it. Well, this stuff doesn't exist. That's just ridiculous. And then, well, how many cases have you worked? How many paranormal cases have you actually worked? And then you find, well, never, but it doesn't. So you're giving an opinion based on no evidence. You're giving an opinion based on nothing to back it up with. Well, I can give you an opinion for 35 years of being in the paranormal community. 35 years. That was the first time I went to investigate a place. So I'm not giving you just an opinion. I'm giving you what I have experienced firsthand as an investigator and as an exorcist. So I'm not giving you an opinion based on just an opinion. Anybody can have an opinion. But I'm giving you, this is what happened. This is my experience. And I think that holds a little bit more credibility than just, well, this is my opinion, even though I have nothing to back that claim up with. This is the thirsty donkey. The thirsty donkey. There it is. The thirsty donkey. So what's up with this this thirsty donkey? Well, for those of you who've never heard, it says going through an old person's estate will often turn up a few quirky items, but few odder than this one. A decorative drinking jug held in a miniature cart pulled along by a porcelain donkey. Now the poster, I'm not going to use his name. The eBayer said had known about this item since he was a child. It was always on display in his grandmother's house, and she always kept it full of water in the little black bottle there. But after she passed away and he was taking care of her estate, he bumped into it one day, and it became clear something was very, very wrong. How was the donkey's jug filled with water when there was no one to fill it? Now, he thought it may have been leftover. Perhaps maybe his aunt did that or grandma did that and ignored it. But over time, it seemed to happen repeatedly. The level of water didn't stay the same. It seemed to increase spontaneously. Well, that's pretty interesting. Now, while his grandmother may have been willing to keep the mysterious object around her home, the seller eventually decided he had to get rid of it and put it up for auction. For someone who wants a constant supply of water around the house, it may be a good investment of its abilities proven true, but the superstitions may think twice before taking a swig. So the next, I don't know. Can we validate these things? No. Can we say these are absolutely 100%? No, we can't, because we don't know. But when you have something like this, I would say stay away from it. I don't think it's a good idea to buy these things at all. Guys, I can tell you, in every case that I have had, there's been nothing good that comes from buying these things. Really, seriously, just it's not a good idea. I'm trying to find. Let's see. Thirsty donkey. Trying to see if I can find this. Oh, there it is, right here. So they actually sold. Well, thank you very much. It's very pretty. Thank you. It doesn't tell me how much it actually went for. So I'm trying to find if I can find where it is. But apparently it was listed on eBay, and I don't know how much it sold for. Okay, so that's the thirsty donkey. Now the next is the jinn mask. Here's the jinn mask. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, there's the jinn mask. I don't like jinns. I think you should stay away from them. I have never had a case where if it was jinn related, that it was good. I've never ever. They've always been violent, and people who believe that it was a jinn, I can tell you that it's not a good thing. Oh yeah, Elaine, did you find it, Elaine? For the jinns, for those, it's an intelligent spirit or of lower rank than the angels, also able to appear in human and animal forms and to possess humans. So any type of spirit that is able to possess, that takes control and violates our free will, is evil. So yeah, I do not like jinn. By the way, you see jinn created with Aladdin, the genie, but there's nothing. I've had a couple cases where they believe it was jinn related, and it was not good. There was nothing good that came from it. It was violent, actually. And so I really do stay away. I tell people to stay away from it. Okay, sure. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, it's I don't like them. But anyway, that gin mask that I just showed, it looks like an exotic curio to keep in the house. A curious looking metal mask that resembles a monkey. But the seller had a fantastical story to tell, you see. They claim to have visited Thailand and watched a supernatural battle as a witch used spells to bind the spirit of a jinn to the mask, trapping it. Why would you buy this? Even if you don't believe it, why? The mask became packed with supernatural powers, and anyone who owned it would reap the rewards. There's no rewards to this. There's no rewards to this. Not only would the jinn mask supposedly fend off vampires, but it would bring great riches to anyone who treated it well. But treating it well involves a bit of work. Most haunted objects, you just put them in your house, they say, and things get weird. But for this mask, expect the household food budget to go up. You see, the jinn, according to the site, requires regular offerings of food and drink, as well as expecting the owner to meditate in front of it for 20 minutes, 3 times a day. And if you own the mask and don't do these things, well, the website says you've just angered an ancient spirit bound to a cursed mask. Nothing bad will happen, the site says. I'm sure just keep an eye on those food offering plates to see if they start disappearing. Folks, honestly, do not give yours tequila. I don't know why people think this is okay. You got to help me out here. I don't understand. Really, honestly, I don't understand it. Because when people start getting into these haunted items and they want to collect them, nothing may happen. You might collect it and say, "Oh, this was junk. Nothing happened." But what happens when it does? What happens when it does? And I don't know. That's the I can't find this donkey. So okay. The next one, believe it or not, on eBay, folks, listen to this. Listen to people will sell anything and everything, and the sad thing is people will buy it. Look at that. There you go. That, my friends, is a plastic bag. Yep. A plastic bag, a Ziploc bag to be precise. Well, it says here on this website, it's not often that a haunted object comes in packs of 3, 6, or 9, but that's exactly what this person is offering on eBay. Packs of Ziploc bags that may just transport your leftovers to another dimension. You see, the listing claims that these bags have the mystical power of reversing time. You simply place your leftovers or snack foods inside, and not only will the bag keep them fresh indefinitely, but it will turn back time. Now, supposedly, if you put in stale or spoiled food and take it out, it'll be fresh again. True or not? Only one way to find out, you see, and it may involve indigestion. But anyway, these bags claim to have another more shocking power. Folks, I'm telling you, some of you, this is true. This is an actual eBay. But anyway, this bag claims to have another power, more shocking power. You see, their abilities extend beyond food, and the haunted Ziploc bag may even be able to help heal people. This is blasphemy. So how do you get a person inside a plastic bag then to heal them? Well, you don't. But if you can get a hold of a lock of their hair and place it inside, this is dark magic. They may be healed through the power of another dimension. Bold claims, and this is the rare enchanted eBay artifact that doesn't claim to hold a dangerous spirit, you see. But one thing's for sure, with a starting asking price of $25 for a Ziploc bag, the seller was getting a supernaturally good profit margin. Folks, I'm going to look at this up right now. Haunted Ziploc bag. Well, I don't see anything where it says haunted Ziploc bags that were sold, but you can get Ziploc bags. Are people truly that gullible? They can't be. They can't. There's no way. I don't know if anyone wants to look that up and let us know if it was actually sold. I don't know. There are some things that are just plain stupid. But a haunted Ziploc bag, are we really doing that? Okay. Rosella says, yep. So I guess the endlessly smelling photograph. Yep, you heard me right, everybody. This is the endlessly smelling photograph. There's the picture. Kind of a creepy picture anyway. I don't know who it is, but maybe we'll find out some more information. So this is the endlessly smelling photograph. So what is this all about? Well, believe it or not, it looks like a memento from an old family album, an ancient brown photograph of a sharp-dressed gentleman who has long since passed from this world, supposedly from the Victorian era, containing a picture of a man named Martin. Now, it was found, like so many of other objects were, in an old dusty attic. The owner was impressed by this old photograph and frequently brought it out to show it off to guests. Okay. But as time went on, it became clear that something didn't quite seem right. Or rather, something didn't smell quite right. Ugh. The photo album always seemed to have an odd smell around it. Could it be lingering scents from the time it was used that had been stored there after it was sealed away? The only problem with that theory is that the scents weren't always the same. Sometimes it was a lovely scent of roses. Other times it smelled like something was smoking. And other times it was the sharp smell of a wooden fire. It was worrying enough that the owners supposedly contacted the spirit within each Ouija board. Why? So while the ghost didn't seem hostile, paranormal activity around the home reportedly increased, you don't say. And that was enough for them to get it out of their house and into the hands of a collector. So, I don't know. I don't have this this item, but apparently it's sold on eBay. So there we go. The next one is asylum knobs, a doorknob from an asylum. Okay, so there's a lot of that. Actually, that's big business. There's a lot of people who like to buy items from old asylums. Or old hospitals. But there are a few locations filled with more dark energy than the old-fashioned asylums. And they were full of insane, sometimes violent people who were the victims as often as they were the danger. Now, it was common for patients to be subjected to violent treatment, including beatings, solitary confinement, electroshock therapy, lobotomies. Unexpected deaths of patients were common, and the bodies were usually buried right on site. Now, it's not a surprise that abandoned asylums are one of the most common sites for ghost sightings, and that's actually true. No, the Lesser Key of Solomon is a fraud. It's a fake. So why would someone bring that home? Well, the gates of the asylum are literally the doors to horror, but someone decided that the perfect memento from one of these asylums would be to take the knobs from the door. But it's just a pair of knobs, right? Well, the seller hadn't claimed any supernatural events happening after they took the knobs home, but they did say that the asylum itself was home to strange lights and noises, despite there being no one there. So for anyone who wants to bring the doorknob from an abandoned asylum, well, good luck to you. Could, in fact, you have an attachment? Yes. Do I think it's a good idea to have these things? No, I don't. And Dybbuk boxes. I have I have not been to the Bell Witch Cemetery. I have heard of it, sure, but I've never been. I'd like to go. Okay. Yeah, I've already, Matt, I answered that question. It's not. It's fiction. It was a big fat lie, basically, to sell items, to sell a movie. So no, it's ridiculous. The whole idea of that whole Key of Solomon, but people are doing it. Here's the problem: the Lesser Key of Solomon says that Solomon had this ring in which he could summon demons and force them to do, work on temples. Well, the problem is people are, and I've had cases where people actually take the diagrams, what they think are the Lesser Key of Solomon, and they use Ouija boards to summon their demon because now they think they can control the demon. And then all hell breaks loose in their house, and then they wonder why. I've been to North Carolina, but I've not done an investigation there. So Dybbuk boxes, stay away from them. It actually started in 2003 when writer Kevin Mannis auctioned an old wine cabinet on eBay. I have a Dybbuk box. He claimed that it had been owned by a Holocaust survivor, and ever since he possessed it, and that he had been haunted. And it was sold, and several other owners reported increasingly terrifying phenomena. The claim was that these boxes contained sealed spirits that, when opened, would terrorize the people in the house until they were sealed up again by a religious ritual. It became one of the most well-investigated supernatural incidents in paranormal history, so naturally it turned out that there was more than one. If you do go to eBay or other sites, you'll find sometimes a whole host of people claiming to be selling authentic Dybbuk boxes, but they're lies. They're junk. They warn of mischievous spirits, haunting origins, and disturbing dreams. And why would you? Okay, sign me up. Disturbing dreams. Okay. While most people wouldn't want these boxes anywhere near their homes, you think, fans of the supernatural want to find out for themselves. In many cases, they'll get an empty box, mislabeled as a Dybbuk box, to lure in suckers. Folks, 99% of them are fraud. 99% are fraud. Do not fall for it. There's a lot of fraud going on these online sites. But maybe once in a while, they'll find something more. And there's no shortage of people looking to find out the truth. So stay away from the Dybbuk box. Nothing good can come from a Dybbuk box. Nothing. Very good. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like Psalm 91. I also like Psalm 23. And I also pray the Saint Michael the Archangel prayer. Well, thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. I do. I'm friends with Zach. And so I do speak to him quite often. Okay, and then finally, the last thing that's very, very popular is haunted dolls. It all started with Annabelle. Yes, I did know Lorraine. Lorraine Warren was my friend. I did not know Ed, but I did know Lorraine. And I loved Lorraine. She was just... she was a sweetheart of a person. She truly was. She was just one of those really rare, loving. She was a firecracker. I mean, she was a firecracker. But, I miss Lorraine. She was a cool person. She was a very, very cool person. Well, bless you as well. Thank you. It sold for $1 million. What sold for $1 million? Geronimo? So it all started with Annabelle, supposedly haunted doll kept by the Warrens at the Museum of the Paranormal. And while the supernaturally murderous doll is safely locked up, her existence kickstarted a wave of interest in creepy old dolls of every type. And it's impossible to spend a few minutes on eBay without finding a listing of someone claiming their old porcelain or rag doll is actually cursed. Whatever your tastes are, there's a haunted doll for you there on the site. Among the oddest sections are a Star Wars Stormtrooper that will make people hallucinate, a bride and groom doll whose faces glow a supernatural red, an old-fashioned clown doll that supposedly moves around on its own at night, a cartoonish ape man named Da Grunt. It's a popular 80s toy. that purportedly doesn't need batteries anymore. And we can't forget all the voodoo dolls out there. Do not buy a voodoo doll. For many haunted doll fans, the question is, why stop at one? Everybody's like, well, let's buy another one. Let's buy another one. After all, what could go wrong with hundreds of haunted dolls? Let's buy some more. It doesn't. The Dybbuk box. Yeah, I actually have it. I have a Dybbuk box. I will not ever sell it. It is a legitimate Dybbuk box. But really, honestly, and you're right, Geronimo, if it's a legitimate Dybbuk box, they are very expensive. Very, very expensive. Bishop James Long, please look. Okay, what am I looking at? Aliens disguised as demons, huh? So what am I supposed to look at? Aliens disguised as demons. Yeah, stay away from them. Really, voodoo dolls are no joke. They are bad. They're not good. And I have had quite a few cases that started out with black magic, cursed items. So it's just not a good thing. I'm having a great evening. Thank you so much. So Matt says, can having statues in your house like an Egyptian Sphinx or any kind of cultural statue attract demons? Well, I'm not a really big fan of believing that if you have something Egyptian or something like this, that it's going to immediately cause a demonic attachment. I'm not a big fan of belief. Demonic infestation does occur. Now, could it have an attachment to it? Certainly it could. So, but there's a lot of, I love history. So I collect, any type of historical items. I absolutely love it. But I do it for the historical purposes, not because I wanted the demonic attachment. Okay, certainly will, aliens. I'll do that. All right, so let's talk about, I mentioned that I have a John Wayne Gacy item. A family thought that it would be cool to buy a John Wayne Gacy picture. And this is an original John Wayne Gacy. As for those of you who don't know, John Wayne Gacy was a serial murderer in the United States. I believe in the 70s or so, he picked up young men. And he dressed as a clown. As a matter of fact, many people say that's where the movie it's based on his, him. And so what he did is he was caught and he was arrested and then put on death row. And during this time, he would actually do a lot of paintings, and because he would sell them, and because that's how he paid for his defense. And so he made quite a few paintings. There's a lot of fake paintings out there, but this is an actual authentic John Wayne Gacy picture. And the family bought it, and activity started happening in their home. They would hear the loud bangings, the smell of like a rotten flesh. There was something, black shadows. And they never had experience like this before. So here's the painting. So this is a John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, it's of course I have it, in the plastic because I want to make sure that it stays intact. But the family, as soon as they bought it, it wasn't long after that. They had serious haunted issues in their home, activity in their home. It was violent. And it would wake them up all the time, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. There was some pinching, touching. This was reported by a family, and they said that's it. And they paid a pretty penny for this. But they didn't want it anymore. You can get a legitimate John Wayne Gacy for about $400 or $500, sometimes a little more. And they like to collect things, odd items. They just love to collect odd items, and this was one of those things that they found, and there it is. So, yep, that is the actual. It's you can't really see it very well because of the lights, but it's I guess a little lake or something with cabins, that is around it. So yeah, it's that kind of stuff is crazy. There's another item here. Now this item, actually, I got this from New Orleans, and there is a shop down there. There's a lot of shops, but this shop, they love to collect weird, wacky things. They do have a lot of voodoo dolls. So they collect a lot of things like this, and they sell them. Well, the owner of the shop just like to tune into the show periodically, and this item was left on his doorstep. There was no note. There was no explanation why. Nothing. And so he thought, well, it's kind of weird. And so he decided to go ahead and put it in his store. Now, keep in mind, the customers are customers that love oddities, weird things. But when he put it in his store, he said that that light bulbs would pop, that he was just constantly having issues in the store, and that people stopped coming in because he put it, he had the storefront. And so when you walk past it, he had a lot of items there, where you can look inside and grab your attention. But this was a very busy shop. And once he put this item on display so that people wouldn't go in. They wouldn't go in the store. And he went from one of the busiest stores to sell these oddity things to now people they're refusing to even enter the store. So he contacted me, and he said, would you like this? I don't know what it is, but I want it gone. And so I said, yes. And so this is what it is. You can leave them outside for 7 days. The spirit will go elsewhere. Well, no, Elizabeth, what I do is I bless the items. So once I get them, I bless them. And that's with every item that I receive. Every single item, I always bless them. So here it is. This is this item here. I'll just post it this way. I have not gotten this analyzed whether or not this is human hair or not. But it goes all the way back here, and you can see where it is sewn back here. It's kind of a hard substance, you see. So it's clearly sewn all the way up here. And I don't know. I don't know if this is human hair. Again, I guess I need to find out. Someone told me that this is an item that probably was a voodoo, and that it was human hair, and a voodoo priestess put this together to try to welcome the spirit back into the family. But you can see here, it's also sewn. And like I said, it's hard. It's a hard substance. But I do need to find out what that is. I do need to find out what I need to do an analyzing this, because I don't know what it is. This that I'm going to share with you is Geronimo said I just threw up. Yeah, it's a creepy, and it could be cowhide. I'm not really for sure, but I do need to get it analyzed. Well, that's what I was thinking, deer, but it is very fine. It really does feel like human hair. And by the way, when I go to the paranormal conference, again, for those of you just joining, I will be at a paranormal conference October 7th through the 9th, and I will be bringing several of these items with me. Plus another item that I can't really talk about right now because there's a reason for it, but you'll want to see it. It's October 7th through the 9th, and it's called Upstate Spirit Conference. That's the name of it, Upstate Spirit Conference, October 7th through the 9th. I will be giving a presentation on demonology. It's at the Belmont Inn in Abbeville, South Carolina. So I will be there at the Belmont Inn, Abbeville, South Carolina, October 7th through the 9th this year at the Upstate Spirit Conference. So you can Google that, Upstate Spirit Conference, and get your tickets. Well, there you go, Morgan. Hopefully I'll be able to meet you. This next one is, this was actually at the Gates of Hell Cemetery. Now, I've talked about the Gates of Hell Cemetery many times before on this show, and I've had it for I've had it for quite some time, for going on 5 years or so, maybe longer. But this next item that I'm going to share with you is it was from the Gates of Hell Cemetery. It's in Kentucky, and I actually am the one that named it the Gates of Hell Cemetery, because back in 2003, my team was trying to find places to investigate. And nobody knew of this cemetery. Nobody in the paranormal. I mean, it was old. It's an old abandoned cemetery in Kentucky, and it's off the beaten path. I mean, you'd really have to do some investigation to even find it. Well, some family members were asking us if I would be willing to go there to bless it, to bless the ground and the grave site, because of a lot of people doing some things that they shouldn't be doing there. And so we said yes. And back in 2003, again, nobody even heard the Gates of Hell Cemetery in Kentucky. And I was on a radio network at that time, and we were talking about the show, and the investigation. All hell broke loose there. And then I remember saying, this is like the Gates of Hell. And they were like, that's it. From now on, we're going to call this the Gates of Hell Cemetery. And I went to, and like I said, I'm the one that named it the Gates. Actually, well, it was the team. But when I said, man, this is like the Gates of Hell. And that's how the Gates of Hell Cemetery got its name. We know that because, like I said, I've been in the paranormal for 35 years. And nobody even knew this cemetery even existed. Nobody. It is off the beaten path. It's an abandoned cemetery. So I went there, and in the back, there's this big tree. It's a dead tree. And a lot of people will perform satanic rituals there. And unfortunately, they even, which is very upsetting, they even abuse, sacrifice animals. There was the corpse of an animal that it was recent. And so anyway, they had an altar there, and I destroyed the altar. Because obviously I know what a satanic altar looks like. And so this item here was placed in the middle of the altar. So on the top was a candle. There was two, I think there was two red, and then there was a black right on top here. And then of course the corpse of, I can't remember if it was a cat. I thought it was a cat. It was kind of hard. I'm pretty sure it looked like a cat to me. But I took it. And of course, all across this, and you can buy this at the store, but all across it, you can see the details of skeletons and skulls and all that stuff. But I took this, and I then disassembled destroyed that altar, and then I blessed it. But the thing is no matter what, people say, well, do you ever bless yeah, I do. But the problem is no sooner, I guarantee it tonight, I'll guarantee it, that there will be people who will go there this evening, and they will perform things that they shouldn't do. So no matter how many minor rite of exorcisms I perform there, people just show up and do it all over again. It's like a revolving door. And it's terrible. It is terrible. But I will tell you, that is one place. I will tell you this. The Gates of Hell Cemetery. The Gates of Hell Cemetery makes Bobby Mackey's Disney World. The Gates of Hell Cemetery is no joke. It is no joke. It is bad. It is dangerous. And that is something that I strongly recommend people stay far, far away from. This item here, now most people, if you're Catholic, you would know this is a sick call, basically. It's a last rites. And so ultimately what happens, and you can see it's original because it has not been used, but the candles are placed on each side here, and then you have holy water, and you place the crucifix here, and that's what it looks like. So what I did, I didn't want to use the actual candles because they're original, so I used little tea light candles. Oh yeah, Gates of Hell is much worse than Bobby Mackey's. So I used little tea light candles, and I was at a home that had a minor rite of the minor rite of exorcism was performed there because it was very violent, unbelievably violent. And just as I began to pray the Our Father and the Saint Michael the Archangel prayer, and you can sort of see it, I'll show it close up, but a tea light was here. Now the tea light just burns about this, but that tea light, it was like a flame. It was like a flame torch. It actually caught the crucifix on fire. As a matter of fact, someone who was there was like, Bishop, look, the crucifix was actually on fire. And it was on a tea light, and the flame just went really, I could never seen anything like that before. But there is where you can see the damage where it actually caught it on fire. So that's what I mean by religious objects are desecrated. There you go. And it made me mad because this is very old. And you know, these are quite valuable and they're hard to come by, especially these, especially when you have these, like the plastic behind it. I have another one that a friend of mine sold me, Christopher St. Booth. But this was the one that actually caught fire. And that was pretty intense. That was an intense case. That was a very intense case. I will never forget that. I'll never, ever forget that. And then, of course, the final one I'll talk about right today is this one. Now, many people think, well, it's no big deal. Well, I did a show, I guess it was a couple months ago, and I was talking about this item. And when you look at it, it looks kind of creepy anyway. But a family bought this for their little baby. I think 2 or 3 years old. I can't remember. And so the father put this in the crib. Well, it kept making a noise. And the father thought, well, that's cute. You know, she's playing with the toy. Then the father jumped out of the bed really fast, ran over to the crib, looked in the back, and he remembered that he never put batteries into this Teddy Ruxpin. I guess that's what it is. I'm not for sure. He never put batteries in it. And it kept going off. It kept saying, play with me, and it would laugh and say some really strange things. And he literally, he took this thing open, and there were no batteries. And it was interesting because when I was talking about this a couple months ago, I don't know if you guys remember. There's no batteries in here. I don't have a screwdriver with me. There are no batteries in this thing. That's interesting. It did that exact same thing a couple months ago when I was talking about it. I wish I had a screwdriver. I'd show you. There's no batteries. There's no batteries in this. Yeah, see, it's unfortunately it's a screwdriver, but right there, but I don't have a screwdriver. That's weird. Well, that's what it would do. Oh, it's not a Teddy Ruxpin. Okay. But that's what it would do. And the father said, nope, it's got to go. It's got to get out of here. I don't want any part of that. And yeah, you're right. I definitely need to bless that one again. Matt, it will be October 7th through the 9th. At the Upstate Spirit Conference. And I will be bringing quite a few items with me at that conference and talking about it. Plus, I'll be bringing a very special item. Can't talk about it, but I will be bringing it. And so there we go. No, a demon cannot redeem himself for heaven. Because they've already been judged. So the judgment has already happened. They've already been condemned for eternity. Keep in mind that there's a lot of people who think that they are able to change the nature of a demonic and change their mind. and convince them that, to turn their life away. That's a trap. Don't fall into that trap. And I'll tell you why. The moment that you begin to think that you can change the nature of a demonic, or you can change their mind, and to make them see the error of their ways, that is erroneous. That is incorrect. And here's why. They were in the very presence of God, and they still freely rejected God for pure hatred towards God. The idea that we, the created species that God created in his image, that somehow we're going to do something that God couldn't, that's a very dangerous road to go down. Very dangerous road. Yeah, there are no batteries in that thing. I didn't put batteries in it. So anyway, it's not a good thing. And by the way, for those of you who like The Conjuring, my friend Andrea Perrin, I love her. She's just so sweet. She actually grew up. So let me just tell you this: she grew up in the Conjuring house. And she has great books. There's 3 books. I strongly encourage you to pick them up. It's called House of Darkness, House of Light. And she actually tells you the true story about what happened in that home. So if you really want to know the true story, then you need to check out Amazon, House of Darkness, House of Light. Do yourself a favor. Check it out. I think you're going to really, really like it. It is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. And she does a great job. Also, I also want to encourage you, strongly encourage you. If you go to Amazon, run to Amazon. Well, just go online and buy this book, 2 books. Dark Siege, D-A-R-K, Dark Siege, S-I-E-G-E. Dark Siege, a Connecticut family's nightmare. You need to purchase those books. And also you have Dark Siege, The Nightmare Returns. The author is a friend of mine. His name is Jason McLeod, M-C-L-E-O-D. That's his name, Jason McLeod. That's how you say it. Again, it's M-C-L-E-O-D, and it's called Dark Siege. There are 2 books. Let me tell you something. If you're like me, you might get distracted easily, or you're thinking, I got to do this, and you're trying to read a book. You're just trying to at least, and you might have a hard time sometimes focusing. I will promise you, you will not be able to put these books down. The way he writes is brilliant, and I mean brilliant. It is very descriptive. It's like when you're reading the book, you can actually picture the scene in your mind. I mean, it is just, and then you don't want to stop. It's one of those books, and those are rare. That's a very, very rare talent to have. To be able to like, okay, you finish one chapter, like, oh, I got to get up at 5 a.m, and I got to read it. I got to read the next chapter. I've got to read it. And then you read it, and it's just as descriptive. And then you're like, oh, God, and it's 12 o'clock midnight. You're like, I got to go to bed. No, I got to find out what happens. Folks, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And I really do stress that. It's called Dark Siege. Dark Siege. You can get both of them. And I would and by the way, it's really, yeah, and that's right. And Danita, remember that it's based on a true story. And that's what makes it even more interesting. And Jason knew Lorraine as well. So, folks, get it. Get both of them. Get Andrea's books, House of Darkness, House of Light, and get Jason McLeod's books, Dark Siege. Boy, Dark Seas 1 and 2. Well, Gary, I understand your point about, but I think I would disagree about, but not give defense, because there is defense against evil. We have the Psalms, we have Saint Michael the Archangel, the prayer, we have all the saints above in heaven, and we have God, we have Mary. We have so much defense. And people, and I've said this before, people are putting demons here and God here. And that's gotta stop. That's nonsense. That's utter nonsense. Because if people are demons, and then I say, well, have you prayed to God? Well, yeah, demons. What do you mean? I mean, you call upon God, it's demons who are trembling. And you should know this. And the idea that we're elevating demons so far above God, I don't know where that came from, or what started that nonsense, but that's absurd. That is absolutely absurd. So yeah, our prayers are our defense. We call upon the saints and angels above in heaven. We call upon God. We call upon Mary. We call upon the Holy Spirit. Oh, Kathy, is this the only live show? Okay, on this one, all right. But yeah, I just don't understand. So, well, Aaron, Shannon Long 30. She's the one that helps me kind of figure out who's going to be the moderators there on TikTok. So why don't you? You're very welcome, Gary. Good question. But Gary, or who was it? Not Gary. Aaron, why don't you contact Shannon Long 30? All one word, Shannon Long 30. I don't think she's here this evening. I don't know, because I haven't been able to see the chat. But Shannon Long 30. Okay, all one word, Shannon, and then reach out to her and say, hey, can I be a moderator? And she'll do that. Yeah, you're right. And Frank says that they put demons up in a pedestal and pay no mind to the master of the universe who created them. And that's right. Okay, yeah, she's not here tonight. Okay, very welcome. By the way, speaking of conjuring, some of you may not know this, but listen to this. The home that inspired The Conjuring sells more for than $1.5 million. So the 18th century home in Berryville sold for $1.5 million on Thursday, far higher. By the way, the asking price was $1.2 million. So, and this is from the Associated Press. It says the Rhode Island farmhouse that inspired the 2013 horror movie The Conjuring has been sold to a Boston developer who plans to keep it open to the public. The 18th century home in Berryville sold for $1.5 million on Thursday, far higher than the $1.2 million asking price. The purchase is personal for me, buyer Jacqueline Nunez, owner of Wonder Group LLC, told the Boston Globe. It's not a real estate development. It's around my own beliefs. Now, Nunez and the couple who sold the home, Corey and Jennifer Heinzen, jointly announced the sale on Facebook. Now, Nunez plans to continue the paranormal business the Heinzen started. Guests will be able to continue the nightly paranormal investigations. Day tours will resume, and there will be live streamed events. I think that would be a cool show to go there, wouldn't it? The Heinzens, who bought the home in 2019, will remain involved. Legend has it the home is haunted by the presence of Bathsheba Sherman, who lived in the house in the 1800s, the agency said. To this day, countless happenings have been reported. And by the way, Andrea does talk about Bathsheba in her books. So the movie wasn't filmed at the home, but was based on the experiences of the Perron family that lived there in the 1970s. Now, the home sold in 2019 for $439,000 to a family who described themselves as paranormal investigators and hosted events at the site, rented the rooms for overnight for people eager to scare. Before that, the previous owners didn't complain about ghosts, but about fans of the movie who showed up at all hours and trespassed on the property. Now, Nunez says she's not afraid of the house. She says, I don't believe the energy here is malevolent. Things will happen here that will startle me, but not harm me. She said, I look forward to experiencing things. So there you go. The Conjuring house has been sold for $1.5 million. That is a lot of money. Can you imagine? I don't know. That's perhaps maybe I'm missing the ball. I need to start investigating, right? I do, because or buying some things, buying some property. I wish I could, because you got that's big bucks. By the way, my buddy is doing a pilot for a movie, for our show. I'm sorry, and this is from ABC 13 News. Paranormal TV show exploring the USS North Carolina battleship. And so this is what it says. New Hanover County, a group of paranormal investigators paid a visit to the battleship North Carolina in Wilmington. It's one of the 3 locations they're visiting to shoot a pilot episode for a show. ABC affiliate WWAY in Wilmington is reporting that Kentucky-based investigators with the show Expedition Paranormal are teaming up with Raleigh-based Carolina Ghost Whispers Investigations to document things seen, heard, and felt that cannot be explained. Now, the team spent 13 hours on the decommissioned World War II battleship at night, conducting multiple experiments. Well, thank you very much. Documenting the experience as they looked for evidence to back claims of paranormal sightings on the vessel. Dwight Turner, Expedition Paranormal executive producer, said, "We're not going to say because a door shuts, oh, a ghost touch it. No, we're going to try to debunk it. We're going to shut another door because of circulation of wind or anything like that inside there. Maybe creaking noise. It might just be your footsteps." Now, although Expedition Paranormal has not yet confirmed which streaming service it will air on, producers expect it to draw the attention of many. So there you go. That's very, very cool. My buddy Draven, he's going to be in that, and I'm sure it's going to be really, really cool. He does a great job. Really does a fantastic job, and I think you guys we'll have to check that out. Yeah, I have not been there. I have not, but that would be a very, very cool place to go. There's a lot of places that I haven't been to, but I really would like to. By the way, this is from, let me see, Sun Gorda. Sun Gorda. For those of you who like Bigfoot, skunk ape, well, guess what? There is a Bigfoot skunk ape conference coming to Punta Gorda. And so let's talk a little bit about that to share with you. Paranormal expert is bringing some heavy hitters to her conference on the Florida skunk ape and Bigfoot. Phyllis Caesar, founder of UFO Group and the Paranormal Network, said all-day conference will run from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. on June 4th. So that's tomorrow at the Bayfront YMCA in Punta Gorda. So you can check that out. The Bayfront YMCA in Punta Gorda. It will feature stars from documentary films and TV shows dealing with the legends of Bigfoot and the Florida skunk ape. Now, a number of authors, a law enforcement, paranormal investigator, a radio and podcast host will also be on hand to talk about their sightings and paranormal experiences. Now, one such person, Dave Sheely, has been investigating the Florida skunk ape for 50 years. Now, the owner of the Skunk Ape Museum in Opeechee, Sheely, recently talked with the Daily Sun. He said his first skunk ape sighting was in the Everglades in 1973. He said, "I was 10 and hunting with my older brother in the morning when I sighted a skunk ape. Many people think that skunk ape is Bigfoot." He says, "I was short, so my brother picked me up to see." Sheely said, "I saw a large ape-like animal covered with hair and walking on 2 legs. Sheely and his brother quickly headed home to tell their parents. Now, his family has lived in the Everglades for 4 generations, having arrived in 1890 from Fruitville, Florida. His family lived on the land before it became part of the Big Cypress National Preserve in 1974. Then it was the nation's first national preserve. So he lives on 40 acres off US 41, 10 miles from the Everglades city. So this is pretty cool. Again, if those of you who want to check it out, if you're in Florida, then I think that if I was in Florida, I would go Bayfront YMCA in Punta Gorda. And that's from 9 a.m. tomorrow to 6:30 p.m. Okay, so there you go. I think that'd be very, very cool. I people ask me all the time, do I believe in Bigfoot? I do, because there's just simply too much. There are too many people. There are too many very credible people who have seen this creature. And we're talking game wardens in Alaska who have seen a bipedal creature, a creature standing on two legs that appeared to be ape-like. And people say, well, they mistook it for, a bear. Folks, if you are a game warden in Alaska and you can't tell the difference between a bipedal animal and a bear, then you probably shouldn't be a game warden in Alaska. I'm just saying. These people are obviously they're professionals. I do love to go camping. However, I guess glamping is more for me, because I like the idea of camping in a tent. Probably not. I like. I want to stay away from spiders and snakes. So and heat. By the way, heat and me, we don't get along. It actually triggers my migraine. So when I get too hot, I get really my migraine. So for me, I kind of like a cabin. I would love to go on a cabin. Absolutely, I would love that. That would be amazing. Kentucky Woods has a small people and 8 man in those woods. Yeah, you never know. I don't know, but I know that there's something going on. There is something going on, and I don't know what it is. Well, people say, well, why haven't bones and carcasses been discovered? Well, that's a good question. And here's one of the theories that people have told me who are Bigfoot researchers. It implies that the animal or Bigfoot or whatever you want dies. But what happens if the theory it holds true that they actually bury their dead? We don't see that's a theory that you have to, and there are lots. By the way, there's a lot of animals who die in the woods. We never discover their bones. So I don't know. I don't know. There have been DNA hair samples that have come back inconclusive. The thing is there's just too many people who have seen these things, very credible people. And I can't dismiss what they're seeing because they're not gaining anything. They're not selling a book. They're not trying to get on, be famous. To me, I know there's something going on. Okay, let me share with this one. This is written by Thomas Tuna. Bigfoot Special spotlights Night of Terror next month. Okay, Bigfoot Special spotlights Night of Terror next month. My buddy, Jack Osborne, he is a friend of mine, and I was on his show. They went to Bobby Mackey's. Jack is a great guy. He is class act. He's just a class act kind of guy. He's very approachable, very nice. He just has that energy about him that is really, really cool guy. Really cool. Jack is a cool guy. So by the way, here it is. Paranormal investigator Jack Osborne is teaming up with Clerks actor Jason Mewes to catch a glimpse of the elusive Bigfoot in a 2-hour Discovery Plus special airing next month. So it's called Jack Osborne's Night of Terror Bigfoot. So there you go. It's a Jack Osborne's Night of Terror Bigfoot. So it's set to debut June 26. It follows the pair on a remote quest to find proof of the infamous beast. Now, the duo ventures into northern Idaho's secluded backwoods to find out if Bigfoot is an undiscovered creature or simply an age-old legend run wild. Now, in the special, the men travel deep into the remote Priest Lake region. It's a hotbed of Bigfoot rumors to search for evidence. Now, they interview eyewitnesses and experts, including primatologist Dr. Mayer, and camp out in the bear-infested woods. No. This is why I won't go Bigfooting. No. No. You're looking for Bigfoot and you get eaten by a big old bear. No. Jack, what are you doing? So he says, you don't know if something's real or not, Osborne said, until you've made an attempt to find it. That's the crux of our mission. The area we have to cover is immense, and there's no telling what will come stumbling out of the woods. Yeah, a big old bear, Jack. Muse added that he has never done anything like this. It's pretty crazy. It'll be exciting to see if we can find proof, and then even more awesome if we can name it. So again, for those of you who want to know, it's on Discovery Plus. It's called Jack Osborne's Night of Terror, Bigfoot. And again, it comes out June 26th. Jack, what are you doing? See, this is the thing is when you're going into a place that has a bear infested area, no. Now I know some people say, well, Bishop, they're more scared of you. Okay, but it only takes one bear. It only takes one bear. And I mean, there have been many people who have been mauled by bears. So no, when it comes to going tracking out in the woods and you hear growls and all that stuff, look, you may not be Bigfoot. That may be something else that wants to eat you. No, I'm not. Well, actually, Director Green, it's interesting. I recently went to what's it called? My brain just said goodbye. Gatlinburg, and they actually have a sign at the hotel that said, "If black bears attack you, fight back." Now, it's interesting because normally you're always told, if a grizzly bear attacks you, then you just play dead. Because usually when the grizzly bear attacks you, they're doing it for defense. They feel threatened. But apparently they're having black bears attacking people, and it's not because of defense. It's because apparently there's just some aggressive black bears. So they say do not play dead. Actually fight back if a black bear does attack. So it's interesting because I talked to, because you always hear play dead. But I talked to the person there, and I even talked to a game warden a couple days ago about this because I was curious about that. And they say, yeah, black bears, when they attack, some of the boars are pretty vicious. And they're not, when they attack, they don't attack you because normally they're afraid or they don't like you or they're just trying to frighten you. They will attack you. And so the black bear, you're apparently supposed to fight back. I didn't know that. I always thought with every bear you're supposed to play dead. But no, apparently you're supposed to fight back. But I don't know. I don't think I want to get involved with it. No way. So I want to remind everybody again, if you'd like to go to my website, please do. Bishop James Long, bishopjameslong.com. And if you'd like to make a donation to the ministry, that would be wonderful. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and where it says ministry expenses, because we do have a lot. And it's just me. Right? I wish I had a staff, but I don't, because you got to pay the staff. And so it's just me. And it makes it obviously more complicated, but we push forward. So Bishop James Long, LONG.com. Scroll down and just make a donation there to the ministry. I certainly would appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, right. And bears are beautiful creatures. Don't go out trying to find them or beat them up or harm them. It depends on where you are in Canada. Just send me a message on Facebook and then we'll find out. Okay, so there we go. For those of you who are on Spreaker, I'm going to say good night to you guys and have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Okay, Spreaker is signing off. I hope that you have had a very, very good day. Do something good for yourself for this weekend. Whatever it might be. Do something good for yourself. You deserve it. You truly do. So spend some time with family, friends, or maybe if you want to go camping, we'll go camping. I want to invite everybody to night prayer. We have night prayer tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's at Spreaker.com/show/night prayer. Night prayer is all one word. Okay? Remember, I tell you all the time, well, thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys being here. I really absolutely appreciate all you guys being here. And once I'm given permission to talk about the filming, I promise you I will. And it's very, very exciting. But I haven't been given permission yet. But We'll get that. So remember, I tell you all the time that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, friends, you are priceless, and never let anybody convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. God bless. The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.